Hi, you're watching Jiggy Math. Before we start today's lesson, let us have this short activity. Can you say this tongue twister as many as you can in 1 minute? Little did Lola realize she could leave her laundry to laundrops, lovely launderers. One of my students can say this tongue twister 12 times per minute. 12 tongue twisters per minute is an example of the lesson for today. Today, we will be discussing all about rates. To understand this concept better, let us try to recall our previous lesson. In the past, you have learned about ratio. Rate is related with this lesson about ratio. If you can recall, ratio is a comparison of two quantities. So let's say we want to compare the number of triangles and squares in this set. We can say that there are three triangles and two squares. So in the ratio form, we can have 3 is to 2 or 3 over 2. Now, in the second example, if we want to get the ratio of the number of girls to boys, we say that the ratio is 5 girls to 15 boys. Now, what about the rate? A rate is a special ratio in which the two terms are different units, but they are somehow related. Usually, the second rate is given in terms of time, but it can also be anything. So a rate also refers to the amount of a quantity per unit of another quantity. Let's try to take a look at this example. So we have mentioned earlier that a rate is a two-term ratio used to compare quantities that have different units. So in this case, 200 kilometers to 4 hours. Kilometers and hours are different units because one is in terms of distance and the other one is time. So this is an example of a rate. Another example is the poster on the right side of the screen. So this is $10 per month. So we are actually comparing the amount of money that you have to pay given a period of time. Or another example would be $199 for 18 months. Now let's try solving word problem involving rate. Here's the first problem. Mr. Lee spent $420 to rent a hotel room for 3 days. What was the rental rate for the room? To solve this problem, it's easier if we will get the unit rate. So how do we do that? First, let's start with what is given in the problem. So it says here that Mr. Lee spent $420 for 3 days. So 3 days is equal to $420. And to get the unit rate, we just need to divide this amount by 3. And we will get $140. So the answer is the rental rate for the room was $140. So when we say rental rate, this refers to the amount of rental paid per day. That's why we have to get always the unit rate. Now, here's another example. In a store, nuts were sold at $4 per kilogram. Joseph bought 13 kilograms of nuts. How much did he pay? The rate given is the cost per kilogram of nuts. So, 1 kilogram here is equal to $4. So, if we want to get 13 kilograms, we just need to multiply the amount by 13 and we will get $52. So, Joseph paid $52 for the 13 kilograms of nuts. Third example. Water was poured into a rectangular fish tank. The water level increase was 3 cm per liter of water poured. How much water was needed to increase the water level by 15 cm? So the rate given is the water level increase per liter of water poured. So let's start with what is given. So we have 3 cm is equal to 1 liter. So if we want to get the unit rate, for every 1 cm, we just need to divide it by 3 and we will get 1 over 3. So take note, if this is a division, it can also be expressed in fraction like this. Now, let's answer the question. How much water was needed to increase the water level by 15 cm? You just need to multiply 1/3 by 15 and you will get 5 liters. Do you remember how to multiply a fraction by a whole number? Okay, so you just think that 15 here has a denominator of 1. Isn't it that when we multiply a fraction by a fraction, we multiply their numerators over their denominators? So 1 times 15 is 15. 3 times 1 is actually 3. So it's the same as 15 over 3 or dividing 15 by 3. That's why we got an answer of 5 liters. So 5 liters of water was needed. Let's move on to more examples. A typist can type 65 words per minute. At this rate, how long will it take the typist to type 780 words? So the rate given is the number of words typed per minute. So we can start with that information. 65 words is equal to 1 minute. So one word is 1 over 65. And to get 780 words, we just need to multiply 1 over 65 by 780. And we will get an answer of 12 minutes. So therefore, the typist would take 12 minutes. Now that we have solved basic problems about rates, let's try solving more complex ones. A money changer exchanged 50 Singapore dollars for 150 Malaysian ringgit. There are two questions in this problem. First question, at this rate, how many Malaysian ringgit can be exchanged for 1 Singapore dollar? And the second question is, at this rate, how many Singapore dollars can be exchanged for 2,100 Malaysian ringgit? So remember, the rate given shows the amount of Singapore dollars that can be exchanged with the amount of Malaysian ringgit. So let's start with what is given first to answer the first question. Remember, we need to find out the number of Malaysian ringgit that can be exchanged for 1 Singapore dollars. So if we have $50 and which is equivalent to 150 ringgit, I got this clue from the first statement. Let's get the unit rate. So $1 is simply 150 divided by 50 and we got an answer of 3 ringgit. So the answer is 3 Malaysian ringgit can be exchanged for 1 Singapore dollars. Now let's answer the second problem. At this rate, how many Singapore dollars can be exchanged for 2,100 Malaysian ringgit? So let us start with what is given. We have answered a while ago that there are 3 Malaysian ringgit, which is equivalent to 1 Singapore dollar. So to get 1 ringgit, we just have to divide $1 divided by 3 and we will get this in fraction form. Now, to get 2,100 100 ringgit, we just need to multiply 1/3 dollars by 2,100 and we will get an answer of $700. So there are $700 Singapore dollars that can be exchanged for 2,100 Malaysian ringgit. Let's have one more example. A machine can assemble 120 boxes in 10 minutes. At this rate, how many boxes can the machine assemble per minute? And the second question, at this rate, how many minutes will it take the machine to assemble 3,000 boxes? So the rate given shows the time taken to assemble the number of boxes. So in 10 minutes, there are 120 boxes. So given the unit rate 1 minute, 120 divided by 10, and this will give us 12 boxes. So therefore, the machine can assemble 12 boxes per minute. What about the second one? We need to find out how many minutes will it take the machine to assemble 3,000 boxes. So let's start with what is given. So we've learned a while ago that there are 12 boxes per minute. So if it's one box, how do we get the unit rate? We just need to divide 1 by 12 or simply 1 over 12. And to get 3,000 boxes, we just need to multiply 1 over 12 times 3,000 and we will get an answer of 250 minutes. The machine will take 250 minutes to assemble 3,000 boxes. Now this time, this problem is left unanswered for you to try independently. Joseph saved $300 over 8 months. At this rate, how much did he save per month? And the second question, at this rate, how long will it take him to save $1,200? Find out. Try solving these examples. A tap can fill an empty 9-liter tank in 45 seconds. At this rate, how long will it take the tap to fill an empty 1-liter flask? And at this rate, how much water will flow from the tap in 140 seconds? Try this. Before we end our lesson, see if you were able to get these answers correctly. So for the first exercise, the answer is $37.50 per month. And then the second one is 32 months. The second example, the answer is 5 seconds to fill the flask. And for the second question, 28 liters of water will flow from the tap in 140 seconds. I hope you got the answers correctly. Thank you for watching Jiggy Math.